What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the You Know Ball podcast. I am your host, Trill Bro Dude, and people have given me shit for not introducing Sam at the beginning of the episodes.
I mean, why would you know what you're getting, baby? You get what you're getting, baby. I'm on every episode. Like
Sam built into the experience.
Yeah.
I've been saying that since I started the podcast. Well, it's at least since we changed the name to You Know Ball. So yeah. I was taken back when people were commenting that on the last episode. But I just to appease them. We have Sam here at NBA Baby Secret cooking up some special war crimes in his mind palace for this episode. We've already gotten a preview of it in the You Know Ball Discord, and I'm really excited to rank all 30 young cores in the NBA.
Yeah, so we actually Trill sent me out the blocks of the time, so we've got a bunch of we've got we're gonna do 29 of the teams in the first hour, and then I'm gonna vamp on the Spurs for another hour by popular demand in the Discord.
For the whole, he's just gonna wax. I'm gonna leave the podcast and I'm just gonna let Sam talk about the thing that we've talked about 7 times already in this offseason.
Spurs fans love it.
They must eat it. I was gonna say. I know, obviously, other than Charles Barkley, we're probably the least liked media personalities in the NBA sphere in San Antonio. I think the 2 fan bases we've probably the 3 fan bases we've annoyed the most would be the Raptors, because they're the Raptors.
Yeah, that's not our fault. We've actually earned it with the other 2. The Raptors are just state media.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The Jazz and the Spurs are the 3, I think, probably built into, because we at least give the Heat credit when they do well. It feels
they're satanic, but
since we took over the podcast, those teams from a front office perspective have been some of, as we did when we did our rankings, some of the more underwhelming teams front office wise in the NBA. And yeah, I was gonna say, and the Heat have the devil magic at a minimum. But I wanted to start with, during this episode, I wanted to do the worst cores to start off with. We talked about, should we lead with the best, should we lead with the worst? You see in the preview image, we'll talk about the best teams here in a little bit, but in my opinion, I think there are 2 teams that run away with the title of, if we're laying out the ground rules, which are 25 and under, so players that are 25 and under before this upcoming NBA season starts, which teams have the worst young cores in the NBA? And to me, it is, I don't think it's a surprise to anyone that I have the Clippers as the worst core in the worst young core in the NBA going into next season. These are their players that are 25 and under: Cam Christie, Giannis, Conan Niederhauser, and Kobe Brown.
It's tough. Isn't Kobe Brown 25 exactly too?
Yes,
I think those guys are all old, on the older end.
He turns 26 in January. Cam Christie is very young, but the other thing that I do want to put out there, that before we get into the meat and potatoes of this episode, I didn't count 2-way guys, because I just think that 2-ways are very fluid. Sometimes these guys don't even make it to the season. Sometimes these guys get upgraded at some point. So for the Sixers, for example, I didn't include Jabari Walker. He might be on the roster at some point this year, but for right now, since he isn't, he's not included in this conversation. And the Clippers have, as we've said before, we pretty much instantly know that their pick is just thrown in the trash on draft night. They have not drafted an NBA player since 2019. And we've talked about how impressed we've been with the fact that, despite the fact that they can't draft, they're very good at everything else. And this quote unquote young core they have, it's very obvious that they're unable to draft, they're unable to develop. And right now, their best players are all 27, 28 and up. The average age on the Clippers is 32 or 33 years old, I think. So the Clippers, to me, run away with this, because I don't even know if any, maybe playing with Harden, Niederhauser can be decent for them. Kobe Brown, I would be surprised if he's on the Clippers in a year. And Cam Christie has really done nothing in the NBA. So I just feel as though if you're looking at the worst team in terms of young cores, they have to be number 1 by a mile. Yeah. And by number 1, I mean number 30.
Yeah, no, they're the worst. I was kind of surprised, because I expected the team, I'm sure you're going to say second, they were the first one I thought of because I kind of thought the Clippers like found some guys, but then I like went and I was like, oh no, everybody's old. So
Do you want to say the team that you're thinking of?
I think the Milwaukee Bucks are the other really bad team.
I do not have the Milwaukee Bucks.
Really? Who do you have?
I have the Boston Celtics.
Really? Okay, interesting.
Hugo Gonzalez, Jordan Walsh, Josh Minot, and Baylor Shireman. Is there any NBA players there that we know of? I
guess that is true. I maybe I've developed a little bit of a blind spot, but I don't know. I guess Kevin Porter Jr. is technically an NBA.
The Bucks
player.
have several NBA players under the age of 25. Kevin Porter Jr., Cole Anthony, AJ Green, and then Ryan Rollins was a decent bench player for them last year. And your guy Tyler Smith from last draft, I don't think he's anything.
No, I don't think he's anything either.
But there's at least 2 to 4 chances at NBA players. We don't have much info. We don't know enough about Hugo Gonzalez, obviously, but like you're kind of out on Jordan Walsh. Baylor Shireman only had one game.
I'm out on him too. I'm out on him too. Yeah, and Hugo's not. And I guess the other guys are like our 2-way guys. So yeah, that's fair. I guess I just kind of have a blind spot for that. For some reason, I kind of I guess I knew Peyton Pritchard was 26, but I kind of auto-filled him in there because he's like on the second year of his contract, but he's a billion years old. So yeah, I guess
did ESPN have this wrong that Kevin Porter Jr. is 26? No, yeah. He's 25.
He's 25, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Kevin Porter Jr. is 25. AJ Green is, let's see. I'm just double checking here to make sure that I have this right. He is 25. So here's actually, you know what? AJ Green can't be counted because I made the rule he turns 26 before the season. So AJ Green's off. So it's Cole Anthony, Kevin Porter Jr., Ryan Rollins, and Tyler Smith. So they're still pretty low.
Andre Jackson. Did you say Andre Jackson?
I didn't, but I didn't know if he was going to make the roster. I guess he will.
So he's a first round pick, like
second round. He was a second round pick.
He a second round pick? I thought he was like 20. I thought he was their first rounder. No,
he was like the 40th pick in the draft.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah. And I mean, he doesn't change the equation for me anyway. Like, if you're Andre Jackson, like for example, Ryan Rollins at least had moments last year, and like Andre Jackson Jr. has gotten a lot of opportunities and hasn't really shown anything in the NBA. Also, I know AJ Green's not in this conversation now, but like Kevin Porter Jr. is at least a bench guard. Cole Anthony is at least a bench guard.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that these are high upside players by any means, but they are probably guys that will hang around in rotations for a few years. So I actually had, let's just put the Celtics in F tier next to the Clippers.
No, that's fair. I'm going to be honest. I don't know why. I just kind of skipped over the Celtics in my head. Like, so I have a blind spot there. That's on me. That's on Coach Tracy. You're right.
So the argument here is I actually had one other team. I actually had 2 other teams before I got to the Bucks, but I was counting AJ Green in there. So I might be willing to drop the Bucks here. But I had at 28, I had
Suns.
I had the Lakers. Jake LaRavia, Dalton Knecht, Bronny, and Adu Taro.
Doug, I guess Luka. Yeah, this is like kind of bad that I'm like, I just remember these guys being young. Yeah, I guess Luka's 26, huh? Damn.
Yeah, like Luka's 26. Like,
wow.
You'd be surprised going through and realizing how many guys have aged out of this exercise. Jaren Jackson Jr. has aged out of this exercise. Luka has. I mean, SGA's been out for a little bit. Like the youngest, like there's like only like a handful of guys from the 2019 draft even in this exercise still. This is mostly 2020 to 2025 draft guys. And the one argument I think you can make for the Lakers being bumped up is that Jake LaRavia might be a starting wing, and then Dalton Knecht, Bronny, and Adu Taro all have chances to be bench players. But for the information that we have right now, Jake LaRavia is a bench wing. Dalton Knecht had a hot start to his NBA career, but looked terrible in his second year at Summer League. Bronny at least showed some promise, and I like Adu Taro enough in the draft that I felt like he had to at least be mentioned here. But I mean, I don't feel great about that. A lot of these teams, their best players are either in their prime or they're over 30.
I might prefer those Lakers young guys to the Bucks young guys. I just don't. I don't know. Ryan Rollins doesn't move me. Like, I'm
No,
not. Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
any of the Bucks young guys move me at all. To
Yeah.
be clear, this is just we're picking nits with the worst cores in the
Yeah.
NBA, like the worst young cores in the NBA for
Mm-hmm.
teams that are trying to win right now.
Yeah. So I think Lakers and Bucks. What was the other team you had? You said you had another team besides the Lakers and Bucks. Was it the Knicks?
The Knicks, honestly, the Knicks might have one NBA player in their young core: Deuce McBride, Tyler Kolak, Huck Porty, and Pacomi Dadier.
Yeah, that was the other rough one that I looked at where I was like, yeah, that because they're not an old team, but they're not a young team. You know, like
No, the
everybody's kind of
Knicks
in
are
their
like
prime.
specifically the most in their prime team of any team I think we'll talk about here,
Right?
because they don't have a lot of wash guys. They basically have no wash guys. Most of their players, most of the best players on the Knicks are somewhere from 27 to 30, 31. Like they are squarely in the middle of their prime. Honestly, when I looked at their roster, and we've talked about the state of the Eastern Conference and the fact that we think that there are a handful of teams that can win, it made me feel, knowing that they've been to a conference finals and knowing that they added Yabu, who's also in his prime for next year.
Yeah.
It does make me feel a little bit better about, because I keep looking at these old teams and I keep looking at these like teams that are fairly young. And I feel like the last year we saw a little bit with the Pacers, where the Pacers had a little bit of that young youth it mixed in, and a little bit of veteran savvy, but like mostly guys that were like around their prime. The Knicks feel like the team that is, it's either the Knicks or the Cavs that feel the closest to prime, probably relative to everyone in their rotation. And I feel like you should feel pretty good about that if you're going into next season as them.
Sure. I think Deuce McBride is by far the best player we've had in these conversations, though. So I do think the Knicks should be at the front of this tier if we're thinking about F tier.
D tier? Do you want to go D, or do you want to put them in F at the front? Because that's one NBA player for pretty much
one NBA playoff rotation player. So you know what I'm saying? Like, because Cole Anthony isn't a playoff rotation player, really, you know, at this point in his career. So, like, and I think he or Kevin Porter Jr. are probably the next best rotation guys of the ones I guess maybe Jake LaRavia. I think we put Knicks at the front and then Bucks as whatever, 27th, Lakers 28th.
That's fair.
Yeah,
okay, so
make sense?
We've ironed out the worst. I think this is, to me, this was the clear D or F tier if you wanted to be generous and put them in D.
It's very funny that this is the prestige markets that the league will put their thumb on the scale for, and then the Bucks.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much like, I was going to say, it's pretty much like we don't need to draft well because we can get guys in free agency.
Yeah.
Or just via trade or whatever, buyout. The Lakers, half their team is buyout guys at this point. And then the Bucks, who the common factor here is that while most of these teams are I would say the common factor is competitive teams that have drafted poorly over the last handful of years, with the exception being the Knicks, who have actually drafted pretty decently, but they've turned those players into vets.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So that's the difference here, is that like the Lakers have drafted poorly in the last 3 or 4 years. The Celtics haven't really had Celtics and Clippers haven't really had a chance to draft well because they're always drafting towards the back of the first round, but they haven't hit on any of those picks. Yeah. And then the Bucks have just continuously, along with the Clippers, been like pretty much consistently one of the worst drafting teams in the NBA. The Knicks turned guys like Quickly and Barrett and Grimes and all those guys into players that are, you know, helping them win now. So yeah, I think that is fair for the bottom tier. Do you want to skip to the top tier now and just
let's do that. Yeah, let's work back and forth.
So there were 3 teams I think should be considered for 3 or 4 teams to be considered for S tier. And I think there's 3 teams that have a chance to be the best.
I mean, let's just get the Thunder are obvious. Like,
okay, so here's my question. Okay. SGA does not count for this exercise, obviously.
Correct. Yep.
So it's J-Dub, Chet, Cason Wallace, Topic, Sorber, AJ Mitchell, and other Jalen Williams were the players under contract that fit for this definition of what we're doing here.
I mean, Chet and J-Dub, like,
for sure. No, I understand. They've won the championship. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
The other teams I think you can consider, and I actually think have a real argument, are the Spurs and the Magic. and hear me out for the Spurs and the Magic.
Okay.
The Spurs have the thing that is the most important of anything, which is they have a
superstar young guy,
superstar all-time potential player who's probably going to be an MVP candidate next year. And then you look at the guys that I know that you're going to go off on your rant at some point here.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
You have Dylan Harper, Steph Castle, Jeremy Sohan, Devin Vassell, Carter Bryant, and Julian Champagnie.
By the way, all of those guys are like fine.
That's what I'm saying. Like they're at least rotation players.
Yeah.
And if you have the 1A superstar, it feels like it makes everything easier for those other guys. So I think they at least have to be considered in the argument, even though the OKC core is a little bit more accomplished so far.
Okay.
And then the other team is the Magic, which is, I mean, Franz Paulo Suggs, Anthony Black, Tristan da Silva, Jace Richardson, and Noah Penda.
Yeah, I mean, just Franz and
Paulo and Suggs is like
Suggs is great
a
too,
force starter potentially, like on a potential contender. Like to me, the reason why I can't count the Magic out from this conversation is that they have two, similar to we talk about with Wemby being the superstar 1A guy, and him being the thing that matters the most. The Franz and Paulo element, we've talked about the importance of having good playoff level wings combined with someone like Suggs, who we already know is a legit starter in the NBA, and other upside potential guys in Jason, Anthony Black, and then Tristan da Silva and Noah Penda. Tristan especially is probably at least a bench rotation wing. Like Jet Howard is the one that I left out of here just because Jet is just kind of an inconsequential player to this conversation.
Right, sure, yeah.
But basically 7 of the 8 or 8 of the 9 young players that they roster are impact players almost. Like I would say, or have a chance to be impact players, I should say. And 2 of them are already, in the all-star conversation, if not all-stars every year. And then Suggs, like that's really, really good. Like even if you do Chet and J-Dub, Kaysen is not quite on the level of Suggs. You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that is true. Yeah. Well, and you know what? You know what's funny? We didn't even talk about the Rockets either.
I had the Rockets as the other team that I think we should be considering for this.
Yeah.
Like I had them in the S tier, but their young core is Şengün, Amen, Jabari, Tari, and Reed.
It's pretty good though.
That's very good. I mean, Şengün's already an all-star. We all love Amen. Like Jabari and Tari are rotation potential starter wings.
Reed is a mystery box. It's like
Reed might be, as we've said before, he might be Deuce McBride. Maybe he's better. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty hard. I mean, I guess it's like, well, let's go because like the Thunder have a literal championship caliber number 2 and number 3, like by definition.
Sure.
The Spurs have the generational talent, and the Magic have like 2 really strong players who might not be traditional 1A, 1B, might be like a, would you rather have Franz and Paulo or J-Dub and Chet? Like.
Well, if you ask me if I'd rather have Franz and Paulo or J-Dub and Chet, I'd say Wemby.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the thing is like, it's so hard for me to just like throw away. Cause like, I still think Harper's going to be decent. I still think Castle's going to be decent. And like, if you just give me a superstar 1A player with some complementary talent around him, it's hard for me to not, because like I'm fairly certain Wemby's going to win MVPs.
Yeah. So here, let me just say this then. I think the Spurs and the Magic are in.
Yeah, for sure.
S tier. Like I think we put those 2 in the S tier, like just sight unseen. Now is the Thunder, are Chet and J-Dub better than the Rockets core? Like
I think so.
Like they are, but like is the quantity of having like 4 definite rotation guys, and
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's that's kind of a toss up to me.
I understand that, and I get it because Jabari and Tari are kind of the swing pieces here. Where like we're still banking on him because everyone just talks about Jabari, and I mean Tari probably less so. I'm probably higher on Tabari. I'm higher on Tabari Smithen than most people, but the way that people talk about Jabari is like, oh, he's already a high-level starter. And it's like, I don't agree with that. I think in time he can get to the point where he's maybe the 4th or 5th guy on a really good team. But as it exists today, there are more sure things on this list. Like there are players that, like Suggs is more of a sure thing, obviously, as a 3rd guy, if you wanted to throw that in there. There are players on these lists that are, most of them are the best players in their young cores. But this is tough. This is a tough one.
This is all really tough. Hold on. Look, I think the way to do this is: would you rather be the Magic or would you rather be the Spurs?
I'd still rather be the Spurs.
I think I would be too, and I think
the power of Wemby is so strong.
Yeah, the power, like.
I know we're like, we've talked about like moving into a different, so Bill talks about this a lot where he talks about how he's like, whenever we have these little like bubbles of parity where it's like, there's like a run of like what we've had now, which we really haven't had since what, the 70s, I think, right? Or the mid 2000s a little bit.
Yeah.
Where it was like
the Nets, those years the Nets were making the finals, I think is.
For sure. And like we had the Pistons won a title, the Spurs won 2, but they were spread out. The Heat won a title in there. The Mavericks eventually won a title. The Lakers won 2. They were back-to-back. The Celtics won 1. But the stretch from like 2002 to like 2011 before the Heatles there was a decent amount of parity during that run. This level of parity we haven't seen since the 70s. And what Bill always says is that eventually you will have more of like a bounce back, essentially, where there will be a generational player that will come along that will kind of break the paradigm of what we've come to know as the norm. Yeah. So like now we're all like, you got to have depth. I'd rather have 2 stars and a complimentary guy than like, but like, what if Wemby's just like a top 5 player of all time?
Yeah.
is the real thing that we're getting at here. And I don't think that it ever ages poorly when you pick the team that has that guy on it.
Like, unfortunately, like Luka did kind of carry his team to the playoffs like 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, having a super duper star is kind of the game breaker here. So yeah, I think
we see it over and over again.
I think it's Spurs 1. I think Magic is 2. I do think I would rather have the Magic than the Thunder Corp sans SGA, right? Like,
okay, so we'll go Spurs, Magic, Thunder, Rockets. Or would you give an a? No,
it's funny. I said the Thunder with a bullet, and now that I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking.
Well, because it's just because more. SGA isn't in this group. If SGA was in this group, we'd all go, well, they are number 1.
Yeah, how old is SGA? 27. Like
he's 26. I think he turns 27 this year.
This year, okay, yeah. So he missed this by like a little bit. So it's like,
yeah, I know he is. He's 27. He turned 27 this summer.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so I kind of think it's. I kind of think it's the Magic or the Rockets. I mean, like, to be honest, like, because I think Amen. There's not like a huge chance, but like Amen could be like a special play. Like it's not a high percentage outcome, but like Amen could be like very special.
I think Amen is going to be very special. I also think the reason why I'll give the slight, even though I of these 2 teams, I would rather have J-Dub than anyone. Yeah. For sure. Like, not even a question in my mind. Yeah. And I even see, here's where it comes down to where it's like, if Chet is healthy, which is still a question because we haven't really fully seen him healthy for a regular season and a playoff run yet. No, he's healthy for 1 regular season. He was half healthy for this playoff run.
I mean, Justin Herbert won his title with, Chet Holmgren won his title with the Thunder though. So.
I mean, the Justin Herbert, it would be a Jalen Hurts joke would be better, right? Because he's on a super team. But you didn't want to. You have to pander to the fans.
If Chet was.
Oh, it's if man. Okay.
If man. Yeah.
I feel
he's
like
healthy.
speaking of the Rockets, I feel like Jalen Green would be a good if man.
We're gonna get to him.
There's a handful of if men across the league right now. We should do an if man draft.
How, by the way,
honestly, sadly, I'd have to say Joel Embiid is very high on that.
Yeah. By the way, when we did this exercise, how shocked were you that the Suns were not in F tier?
I wasn't shocked because I watched Summer League and I was like, they're sneaky. Because what they've done is they've basically taken the last 2 to 3 years to kind of be like, we're so fucked no matter what, but we don't want to be fucked and also have to pay the biggest luxury bill, tax bill in the history of the NBA. So they've sneakily kind of taken some swings on guys in the draft that aren't like absolutely terrible.
Yeah. I'm very I was surprised. I was surprised at where I was like kind of having them fall, to be kind of honest, just because I'm a little bit of a Balawatch sicko too. So anyway, sorry. But I think that's the S tier. Do you have anybody else you want to consider? You said you had 6 teams.
I had 4 teams in the S tier, and these are the 4 teams.
Oh, these are the 4 teams. Okay.
I think that's correct. The one team I want to say has also before we move on from this, I said I would give you I said I would give you a minute. So if you want to talk about the Spurs for a minute, hold on 1 second.
Minute.
Oh, that's the timer. That's me starting. Okay. I think their core is like actually fine.
T-minus 50 seconds.
Outside of Wemby. Like I
disappointing.
I just don't like, I get mad when people like suck them off, but if you treat them like what they are, which is
40 seconds.
Normal players, yeah, they're like fine. And for this exercise, a lot of the young players we're talking about aren't normal players. So
the Discord is going to be so disappointed in you that you did not just rant for a full minute about how overrated they are. But no, you're right. I mean, you are correct in that like they have Wemby and a bunch of swing pieces basically, where it's like they can vary from high-level stars like guys like Harper, or they could just be like eventually be like solid starters. And because you have Wemby, it doesn't matter quite as much as it does for these other young cores, where if you're banking on like 4 or 5 of your guys and you don't have the 1A generational potential guy, then it matters much more. For the Spurs, it doesn't matter quite as much for this exercise.
Yeah, my thing is like, besides Harper, who obviously has like a little bit of bounce, he's not my favorite guy, but like he could, I could definitely be wrong about him. He could be awesome. All their other guys are 5th to 7th players on good teams.
Sure.
Like, and that's the thing. I get like, well, Stephen Castle could be no, he's not. He's going to be fine. He'll be a fine starter.
I think his name's Eli on Twitter. Has been basically doing like anti-Steph Castle propaganda. Mm-hmm. And he posted a stat the other day that like Josh Giddey and Steph Castle had the same blow-by percentage this year. I was like, to be fair, I'm sure Castle's guarding much harder players.
Yeah.
I'm sure Castle is guarding like the the Tyrese Maxeys, the Darius Garlands, even upwards of the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, wing size guard type guys. And it's a little bit harder to stay in front of those guys than it is when you're hiding Josh Giddey on defense half the time.
Yeah, and Josh Giddey has like fucking PJ Tucker, age 47 PJ Tucker, and gets blown by him. But
do you think Josh Giddey's going to tap in when he sees that this is the young core episode?
I don't know. 25 is a little high. It's a little high.
25 million? That's what he's looking for.
That is what he's looking for.
Anyway, folks,
I'm surprised.
The other team that I think
the low ball offer.
The other team that I think should. I didn't end up putting them in my S tier, but they do have to, because it's literally just on the strength of 2 players, which is the Cavs. Like Mobley and Garland still are eligible for this exercise. So they at least need to be mentioned, but then it drops off to like Jalen Tyson, Tyrese Proctor, and Craig Porter Jr.
Yeah.
So it's like the other teams have good top end talent, and then we for surefire NBA players right behind them. Whereas, like, I might like Jalen Tyson, but like he might not be an NBA player.
Yeah,
like, my opinion on this doesn't matter. You have to have at least a little bit of proven ability in the NBA for me to consider you part of like a meaningful part of a young core. So the question for me is, let's put 2 young cores in the 8 that I had in the A tier against each other, because my 5 and 6 were the Cavs in Minnesota.
Okay. I think that's a fine one. Can you scroll down a little bit? Because I can't see that.
Yeah.
the thing.
So-
The other teams we have left, because I think there's one. Okay,
So
I'm going to say another team.
that should we're not even saying
Right,
A
yeah.
tier yet. I'm just saying Cavs
Okay.
versus Minnesota. This is so I just laid out the Cavs, which is Mobley, Garland, Craig Porter Jr., Jalen Tyson, and Tyrese Proctor.
Yeah.
Minnesota is Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Terrence Shannon Jr., Rob Dillingham, Joan Berenger, and Jalen Clark and Leonard Miller.
Does Terrence Shannon Jr. still qualify for this?
He is 25. Yes.
Okay.
It's 25 and under. And yes, I did do that just so Tyrese Maxey could make it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's just like a lot of guys that like could pan out. You know what I'm saying? Did
That's
you
the
say
thing, is,
Jaden
like-
McDaniels counts too?
Yes.
I think it's got to be the Wolves at that.
So here's the thing. The Cavs, the drop off from 2 to 3 for the Cavs is astronomical.
Yes.
Like you go from Darius Garland to the third best player on that list right now is Craig Porter Jr.
Yeah.
I'd probably say Jalen Tyson's even better than Craig Porter Jr., but Craig Porter Jr. has at least played in the NBA. Whereas with Minnesota, the drop off is Jaden McDaniels to Terrence Shannon Jr. And like we've already seen Terrence Shannon Jr., he's probably going to be a rotation wing. Rob
Yeah.
Dillingham, Baron J, they have a chance. Jalen Clark's at least gotten rotation minutes in the NBA. And they do have, between the two teams, Ant is the best player.
I was gonna say Ant is better than Mobley. Like the difference between the two, I think just 1-2. I think the Cavs are better. Like I think, like Garland is way better than McDaniels, more so than Edwards is better than Mobley.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4. But I think just the tiebreaker goes to the team with all these young guys that can still pan out. Like we haven't seen Rob play. Like he's probably not good, but he
Yeah.
might be good. Like
Sure.
we don't know. Baron J like looked pretty good in summer league. Like
He looked incredible, and I really
Yeah.
didn't know much about him at all. So
Yeah.
I was in my Gilbert Arenas bag, just being like French center. Yeah, tall French centers that play for Minnesota, like that's ever gonna work.
yeah, the Israeli guys took all the money and oh, sorry, that was me and my Gilbert Arenas bag.
Yeah, we're getting those guys are sponsoring the podcast.
This is a sponsored podcast.
Their
Ratting
digital,
them out.
their online digital casino is gonna be our new sponsor. That's the news that I've been holding back that I wanted to share
Yeah.
with everyone.
Yeah, we're going Pizza Disco Gambling. It's a new startup out of, well, I forgot this wasn't a Patreon episode. Check back for this joke in the Patreon episode.
We'll expand on that.
Yeah.
Anywho, the by the way, the Hogs are going to be very disappointed that we're 32 minutes in and we've ranked this many teams.
Yeah, that's brutal. Well, we'll have time to do the millennial bracket if we.
Oh my God, we could get to the
We'll do it.
millennial bracket on this episode. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
we could.
The other thing I was going to say was there was someone last episode, a Hog in chat said that when we talk about the NFL, it's like his dad talking about the NBA.
yeah. I saw that. I saw that in the NFL too. NFL chat was not happy with us.
Why? What were they upset about?
I don't even know. I didn't look into it. I mean, probably because I don't know anything about the NFL whatsoever.
I mean, I don't
Like,
really know that much. I just feel
Yeah.
like quarterback, to me, quarterback is just like the most like boilerplate, like easy thing to talk about.
Dog, I fell to my knees. So Dredd organizes the YKB like football league, and so like last year I missed it because my grandmother was dying in the draft, but I was annoyed all year because I didn't draft and I was stuck with all the computer generated guys. I was like, okay, like paid my dues. I was like, awesome. And then Dredd told me like when the draft was. I was like, awesome. And I was like today I was like, oh, when's the draft? By the way, I should check that. And I checked it, August 15th.
So
I
what does your team look like?
I fell to my knees. My quarterbacks are Brock Purdy and Bo Nix.
Let's go, dude.
I'm in hell, dude.
The
I'm in
quirked up
fucking
white
hell.
boy quarterbacks.
It's a rough team. It's gonna be a long year, man. The computers did not do me any favors.
Well,
I
look, if
didn't-
the MAGA quarterback theory that we had, although I guess Jalen Hurts kind of broke that, right?
yeah, because
we
he's
took-
like the
remember-
only lib. he's the
Yeah, a
only
year
lib
ago,
quarterback.
I said I'm a little bit worried that Jalen's the only lib quarterback. I mean, you
Yeah.
got Lamar Jackson retweeting Charlie Kirk.
I saw that. That was rough, man.
I mean, I don't know why people were surprised. I was like, Lamar literally posted "Trust Trump" like 5 years
Jesus.
ago.
Yeah. Dog, I have the Commanders defense. Travis Kelce, dying Travis Kelce. Isaiah Pacheco is my RB1.
Yeah, I
Man.
was gonna say, yeah, Travis Kelce might be on his last legs. You know, he's
Ashton Jeanty as my
that's
one of
not
my
bad.
running
Well,
backs.
I don't know. Their offensive line probably sucks, but
Yeah, that's the thing is I there's never they always the Raiders always have like a good running back, but it doesn't matter because the rest of their team is ass. Like it doesn't matter if a running unless it's like Adrian Peterson, it like doesn't matter. Anyway.
that feels right in my soul that is the case. So there was another team you said you wanted to throw in here.
Can we talk about the Dallas Mavericks?
No, that's ridiculous. Absolutely not.
Is
Cooper
it?
Flag has to play a game in the NBA before I'm putting him this high.
I'm just saying, Derek Lively was a starter in the finals.
With Luka, sure. Yeah, and then okay, this is their young core. Cooper Flag, Derek Lively, Max Christie, Brandon Williams, Jaden Harvey, and Omax, who's not an NBA player.
I don't think Brandon Williams counts. By the way.
He does. He's 25. I looked it up.
Isn't he November? I guess that's not technically before the season.
No, it's not before the season.
Okay.
So I counted anyone who, if you turn 25 before the season, you count. I'm sorry, if you turn 26 before the season, you don't count. If you turn 26 during the season, you do count.
Max Christie's an NBA player.
Sure. I just don't think that I have to see Flag play in the NBA before I'm putting him over some of these other young cores. Like I have several other teams ahead of them.
I think we're gonna regret this, but okay. I think
right.
I think Flag is him. I think Flag is turbo him, and I think that we're gonna look back on this and we're gonna be like, that was silly. Like it doesn't matter that anybody else.
I think we've gotten to the point where you've officially overrated Flag on the podcast, to be honest. I think Flag's really good. I just think that we're getting to a point where like there are literal all-stars on other teams still left that we haven't ranked.
Yeah, awesome. Like, who cares about it? Like, he's going to be an all-star in 1, maybe 2 years.
Maybe.
Yeah. But like,
he's not going to be an all-star this year. You can keep saying that. It's not going to happen. It hasn't happened an 18-year-old has never made the all-star team.
Watch, baby. Maine. This is the year of Maine. We have an epic leftist troop who's going to primary Susan Collins or get rid of Susan Collins. Like Maine is back. We're fucking back, baby. Watch the space.
So I had. Do you want to guess who I had next on my list after the?
I'm gonna look at my. Can you scroll down a little? I still can't see the thing. Is it Grizzlies?
No. I can't believe you like this team. I had.
Did you have Hornets? Oh no, the Pistons. Okay. Yeah.
Cade, Holland, Duren, Asar, Isaiah Stewart, Ivy.
I missed
Bobby Clintman and Marcus Sasser.
I accidentally moved them up off of my list.
You know what? I did this exercise and I kept forgetting teams. And there's one team that when you see where I have them on my board, I don't think there's a way you can argue against it, but I think it's going to hurt your soul. Okay. Because I just kept moving them down and kept moving them down and kept moving them down and kept moving them down. And the team, like, I forgot about the Pistons. I forgot about the Blazers. I forgot about the Hornets. Yeah. I kept having to go back and adding teams. So Detroit is I had them as my 7. I think that they deserve to be in this tier too.
I also had them here. I also had them at 7. I missed my thing around when I did that. I think that's objectively correct. They have one of the better. You could kind of make an argument against the Cavs a little bit.
The Cavs have 2 all-stars already, so it's hard for. I know that it gets grim after that, and they certainly have more rotation players like the Duren, one of Hollander, Asar, and Isaiah Stewart. Like for sure, there's a little bit more depth here with the Pistons, but like Cade's the only one I feel confident in being like he's going to make a lot of all-star teams. Whereas with Mobley and Garland's already made 2. Mobley just made his first.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So that's why I give them the slight edge. That really all you need is one of Craig Porter Jr., Jalen Tyson, or Tyrese Proctor to be an NBA player for me to feel like decent about that.
Okay. Yeah. No, I think that's fair. So did you have the Hornets next?
I didn't have the Hornets next.
Okay. What did you have?
I had the Sixers next.
Oh, right, because
Maxey Grimes also counts for this. He's 25.
Mm-hmm.
McCain, VJ, and then it drops off to Justin Edwards, Janai Broom, and Trendon Watford.
Can't put Cooper Flag on here, but this is absurd.
Is it absurd?
VJ's moving the needle. It's
not even VJ. Literally, Grimes is already a starter in the NBA. So if you want to make the argument Max Flag is better than Maxey in 2 years, okay, fair. That's a fair argument to make. So it's Maxey, who we already know has made an all-star team. McCain, who was just the best rookie. VJ, who was also a top 3 pick that we think is going to be pretty good. Grimes, who's already a starter. And then probably just bench players.
Yeah.
I don't think it's absurd. I would like to see Derek Lively be good without Luka first.
Okay.
Because his numbers are significantly different without Luka. He's had trouble staying healthy is another thing so far in college and in the NBA. We talked about that when we did the last episode. Look, if Cooper Flag comes out and he is a generational player like you think he is, which I do not think he is, then I will have egg on my face. But I think that the Sixers young core is better than the Mavericks young core.
Okay. I'll give you this one. Let's.
So do you want me to put them 8, or are there other teams that you would argue over the Sixers or the Mavs?
I'm refreshing my memory. I had the Hornets next, but I want to make sure I believe that before I go look at it, because it's Brandon Miller, LaMelo count. Oh, no, he does count.
So I had the Hornets at 12 because of availability. LaMelo doesn't play games. Brandon Miller at least has played games. I know he got hurt this year, but I'm not really worried about him long term. Khan, Musa Diabate, Kalkbrenner, Liam McNeely, Trey Mann, Tidjon Saloon, Josh Green, Zion James. Those are the guys that qualify for this.
Yeah. I think I guess if you want to make the argument about availability, but I just think LaMelo is. Yeah, I guess it's if man though. I had
a tier. My tier for 12 and 13 were. It's just that I never know what to do with LaMelo and Zion teams.
Yeah.
What do I do with it's just they don't play. So why? How can I? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you're right about that. I had it. Well, it's funny because I was like, well, obviously LaMelo's the best, but I did just if man. Chet, so I can't really.
And Chet at least plays the games. He was injured, but he at least plays.
Yeah.
We've talked about LaMelo, dude. He averages 40 games a year at this point.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: if he has a full healthy season, and Brandon Miller takes steps, and Khan is about as good as we think he can be in the NBA, they instantly have a very interesting, exciting young core. But there's a lot of ifs there.
There is. There definitely is.
Which is why I had them lower. I had a few teams. All right, so I'm just not as high on the Mavs non-flag guys, which is probably why I have them lower. I will give you that they could be in this tier just because of flag.
That's my thing. Is I just think that if flag is who we think we are, I think Lively, I hear what you're saying. Lively, might not be a starting caliber player if he doesn't.
No, I think to be clear, I think he's a starter. He looked like an all-star with Luka.
Yeah.
And that to me, I said this. Remember when I said this after the trade where I said, I think the player who should be the most angry about this is Derek Lively, because Derek Lively just went from having one of the best pick and roll creators, who is one of the best lob passers in the entire NBA, to a team that now will be built around a different. It's not to say that Flag isn't going to be really good. It's just that he ain't Luka in terms of creating out of the pick and roll.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I think that's fair. I think, I'm looking at some of the other ones. Did you have? I don't know, because I think we're kind of getting. I'm surprised. Who did you have elevated out of this? Because I had a giant glut of teams that I thought were pretty.
All right, I'll just run down my list from this stretch. I had the Sixers 8. I had the Hawks 9. Jalen Johnson, Dyson Daniels, Richiche, Okongwu, Moge, Asa Newell, and Vit Krejci. 10, I had the Blazers. He who shall not be named. Tumani Kamara, Shaden Sharp, Klingon, Scoot, Young Hansen, CD Sissoko, and Ryan Rupert. They're just not consequential to this, but they had to be mentioned.
Mhm.
And then I had the Mavericks. But you could make the argument for the Mavericks as high as 8 or 9 for sure.
I think so. Interesting. I think the Hawks are fine there. I would push back. I think the Blazers kind of belong in the glut of teams that are the no real star kind of, but have a lot of young guys tier, which is like the next one down with teams like the Grizzlies.
So like
and,
the B tier basically, where it's
Yeah.
like because we still have to wait and see with a few of their guys.
yeah, like I think the Grizzlies are one of these teams.
But couldn't you make the same argument for the Hawks?
Well,
like,
Jalen
what is the
Johnson's
difference?
better than Jalen Johnson.
I mean, is Jalen Johnson that much better than who shall not be named? Like, I don't think that there's a meaningful difference between those two players. I don't want to say his name on the podcast.
Okay.
I don't want to talk
I
about
forget.
that guy, but
I
I don't
think-
think there's
yeah.
a big difference in them as players.
No, I think Jalen Johnson's significantly better. I don't
wouldn't.
know.
I would say they're around the same level of player right now.
I think Jalen Johnson gets hurt and like maybe their value is similar,
Yeah.
but like I don't know. I think he's kind of fake. I think he's kind of a 3-and-D, like not fake, but like I don't think he's like a change the game guy. I think he's still a 3-and-D wing. It's like good to have those guys, and he's good at being a 3-and-D wing. that can shoot.
17 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds, 47% from the field, 36% from 3. Like that's more than a 3-and-D guy to me.
That is a lot of his. Is that per?
And he's
is
a
that
really
per
good.
75?
What's that?
Is that per 75?
No, those are his stats per game. I'm not talking about
He has
Jalen
that
Johnson.
many assists per game?
Yeah.
Are we talking about? Is this Denny we're talking about?
Yes.
Like he has 8
Look at his
assists per
stats,
game.
dude. No, I said 7 rebounds, 4 assists.
7 rebounds. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Wait. That's LeBron. What the fuck? No. Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah. 3. Yeah.
I think
know.
they're
that's
around the
kinda
same
whack.
level to me.
I don't.
Long term, I'd probably take Jalen Johnson, but like they're somewhat close in age. They're similar level players right now. I don't think it's like a massive difference.
I just don't. I believe that like Jalen Johnson could kind of develop into like more of an primary focus type guy. I just don't see Denny scaling up that way. Like I really don't. Like the way Jalen Johnson. I think Jalen Johnson could.
All right.
But
The one thing that someone just sent in, which is God, I don't want to give this guy any fucking credit.
Mhm.
His free throw rate this year was 44. I like Jalen Johnson a lot. I've always been pro Jalen Johnson ever since he kind of proved me wrong. And I'm not saying this to shit on him by any means. His free throw rate is 23. And he has the ball a lot. It's not because he doesn't have the ball. Like they ran it. And the one thing that was a little bit alarming to me with Jalen Johnson is that his stats without Trae Young are horrible.
It's true. No, that's a fact. And and I
that's
think,
also the
maybe
case for
part of that is-
ZR, where it's like all these guys kind of rely on someone else, whereas the other guy, he at least can function a little bit as a hub sometimes.
Does he function as a?
I mean, he did
really
last
don't-
year.
I've never watched him and thought like this is a guy who's going to scale up. Like
I don't think that any of them are going to be number one options, to be clear. But I think that to me, they're similar level players. And if you're just saying we're grouping them in because they have no superstars, well, the Hawks also have no superstars or stars in this group to me. They they have a little bit more. I think that a lot of their guys are just a little bit more. They're either older or they're more name recognition guys.
I would be floored if Denny Avdia made all-star team before Jalen Johnson did.
But that's a conference thing.
Is it though? Like, are the forwards that much better in the West than they are in the East? The East is kind of the dominant forward zone. That's like the only thing the East has going for them.
All right,
You've got the Magic guys, you've got the
15.
Celtics guys, you've got the and there's not like a lot of strong wings in the West. LeBron's aging out.
Okay,
Cooper's coming in.
The last 2 seasons,
Mhm.
Denny Avdia's had a better true shooting. 60% true shooting with probably a similar level role, if not more, because he was on bad teams. to me, this is like, to me, those are kind of the same around the same level of core, to be honest.
Yeah, I'll drop the point. I really just believe in my bones that like Denny Avdia is like not a guy. Like he's a good player. He's a starter. He's a high level starter. I do not see him as ever threatening.
I do not respect him, so
yeah.
I'm not going to push
Yeah.
back anymore against
Yeah.
this.
Okay.
So all right, I'll give you the Mavericks in here. I'll even give you the Mavericks ahead of the Sixers because I know Chad is crying because they think Cooper Flag's the GOAT.
No, you can. No, I mean, you're probably right. I mean, if we're
the Sixers have more good young players, but if you think that Flag is a transformational talent,
I do, but if we think Flag's the transformational talent, they should be like above the Cavs. So I think you put the Sixers first.
I mean, Mobley's already a top 20 player in the NBA. Like that's the thing is like what.
I think Cooper Flag's going to be there next year.
Next year? You keep saying this. That's insane. He's 18 years old. Who was the last player that was 18 that was a top 20 player in the NBA?
LeBron James.
He was 19 as a rookie.
Yeah, well, this is Maine. This isn't Ohio, baby. This is fucking Maine. I think you put the Sixers ahead.
Hold on. I'm looking up LeBron on draft night age because I want to see if he was older or younger than Flag. Because LeBron might have been 18 on draft night, and then turned 19 during his rookie season, and that's the same thing with Flag. Yeah, that's at age 19. He joined. Do you want to know the players that at age 19 he joined? Oscar Robinson and MJ is the only rookies to average 25 and 5. 25-5.
Cooper Flag, J.R. Smith meme. Save me a spot.
Kobe did not make the All-Star team when he was that young. He made the All-Star team in his second season. We talked about this on Slam and Jam. There's never been a rookie who started at 18. LeBron didn't even make it as his rookie year.
Get ready to watch. Get ready to watch, baby.
All right, so I will give you
first. Put the Sixers first.
All right, we'll put the Sixers slightly ahead of
We
them.
should be consistent about this. So
okay,
I think I pretty strongly feel that the Hawks.
Do we have a teardrop after this? Is the question? I'm assuming there's a teardrop, right?
No, because I think you have to move the Mavericks down a tier then.
Okay, we're going to keep the Mavericks in this tier. I'm not you've talked me a little bit into them being higher. I probably should have had them a little bit higher just because of Flag.
I think we can just have them in the B tier with the other teams because I really don't think the Mavericks are that far. That's a lot of guys. Both the Trailblazers and the Hawks have a lot of guys.
They have more swing pieces.
Yeah, and a lot of those guys are like really good. Like as much as I was shitting on as Denny Avdia, I love Tumani Kamara like a lot. Like so I think like
defensively
he's really good.
They've got some team. And honestly, and the thing that I probably didn't give enough credit for, the thing I didn't give enough credit for is Lively, regardless of whether he has Luka, is a demon on defense.
Yeah.
And that front line of Flag, AD, Lively might be able to carry them just on the strength of their defense alone.
That's kind of
before they even get Kyrie back.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking is gonna, because they're not gonna be able to score. Although
it's gonna be
Clay post Megan Thee Stallion glow up, people aren't factoring that in. A man can get his swagger back. Clay is getting his groove back as we speak.
It's very funny because I haven't thought about the Mavericks' actual roster since the second they decided to push the red button and destroy their team.
Yeah.
And now I have to think about them as an NBA team, and I'm like, oh right, they still have like all these guys just hanging around. Like Daniel Gafford's still there for some reason. PJ Washington, Clay, like sure, why not?
I love that a boy from Newport, Maine, is going to be at dinner with Megan Thee Stallion at some point this season. It's really, really great to me.
It's good for the brand.
It's huge for the Maine brand.
All right,
Megan Thee Stallion come to Newport, Maine.
You would love it.
Yeah. Can I? So I think the Grizzlies kind of belong in here too.
Okay, so I was surprised how much lower I felt on the Grizzlies.
Really?
Once I listed out players, because these are the players that qualify: Edie Santi, Scottie Pippen Jr., Coward, Gigi Jackson, Cam Spencer, and Vince Williams.
Santi qualifies, right?
Yeah,
Scottie Pippen Jr. Oh, you did? Okay.
I said both of those players.
Okay. I didn't hear Santi, so sorry.
I said Edie Santi, Scottie Pippen Jr., Coward, Gigi Jackson, Cam
Yep.
Spencer, and Vince Williams.
That's pretty good, man. Like,
Okay, so Vince Williams, Cam Spencer, and Gigi Jackson are probably all bench players.
Sure, yeah.
Edie might be a high-level starter or star.
Yep.
Santi might be a high-level starter. Scottie Pippen and Cedric Coward, we're yet to see, like, I don't know if Scotty's going to be anything more than like a good sixth man, like a Tyus Jones type, even though I like Scotty. Cedric Coward, I don't even know if he's an NBA player.
Sure, yeah. I don't know. I gave him mystery box status, but like,
yeah, he's mystery box status for sure.
Yeah, I Jalen Wells though, like,
I forgot about why did I had Jalen Wells written down and I deleted him. I don't know. He's a good starter.
Yeah. Like Jalen Wells,
I mean, this is honestly, this is a similar argument. I was probably too low on them because this is a similar argument to the Hawks and the Blazers, where it's just like a bunch of really solid potential starters with maybe a chance to be like stars.
This whole tier for me, I felt this way. I had a hard time separating all these teams out. I had the Hawks here, I had the Blazers here.
All right, so we'll throw the Blazers, the Hawks, the Grizzlies.
The other team, the other two teams I had here were no, I had three teams here. And I didn't know I thought this was like a hefty B tier, but I also had the Pacers.
The Pacers I had way lower.
Really?
Nesmith
doesn't. I know there's no Halliburton, but they have a lot of other.
Nesmith doesn't count though, so it's Nembhard, Mathurin, Jarris Walker, Ben Shepherd, and Isaiah Jackson, and then Cam Jones and James Wiseman.
Hold on, sorry, did I
James Wiseman still qualifies for this. You
know what? Nembhard doesn't. Yeah, wait, Nesmith, Nembhard.
No, Nembhard does. Nembhard is the best player that qualifies.
Oh, he does. Okay. Yeah. So then Halliburton does too.
No, I didn't count Halliburton because he the next time he'll play, he's 26. That I should have qualified with that.
Oh, okay.
I feel like that's unfair because, like, to me, every other player on here is going to play. I know I had to bend the rules a little bit, but like, him being 25 is inconsequential to when we see him on the court next.
I get it, but it's like also in the spirit of this is like, the young cores are still guys that are kind of developing together. So even if he's going to be 26 when he technically does, like, this is still a team that is currently young and is going to be aging into being a strong team. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I do think you kind of have to.
If you want to include Halliburton, I have them way higher then. Because if we include them with Halliburton, then it's Halliburton, Nembhard, Mathurin, Jarris Walker, Ben Shepherd, Isaiah Jackson, like. Halliburton's an all-NBA player. Like that to me, that I'm like putting them in A tier.
Well, my thing here is like, are we sure he's going to be the same guy? That was my qualifier that had them down here.
I don't really think he relies that much on. To me, the guys that suck after Achilles are usually guys that are like fairly reliant on athleticism. Like he's all smarts and like touch.
Yeah, that's true. Do we put the Pacers in B tier then?
I would put the Pacers in A tier if Halliburton counts, even with the injury.
Okay.
Hold on.
What do we want to do with this then?
I would put them ahead of. I would put them either next. I would put them probably. Would I have them ahead of the Sixers? Because two of those players are the players that really matter for their finals run, which is Halliburton and Nembhard. Right. We've already seen them do it, and Mathurin at least played during the run, even though he wasn't. He was kind of the wild card. Where
he was the ultimate wild card.
He was the ultimate Charlie Kelly. Like one moment he's literally ruining everything, and the next moment he's saving them.
Yeah, pouring honey on you, goat, to throwing acid on you, woat. Every game, in and out. Yeah, I would probably put the Pacers. Yeah, no, you're talking me into this. Because I was like kind of splitting the difference with Halliburton's injury, where I was like,
it's an either or thing for me. If you're counting Halliburton, you have to put them in A, and if you're not counting Halliburton, then they should be in like C.
Yeah.
So that's
put them in A. Let's put them in A. Let's put them between the Pistons and the Sixers. Then I think.
Yeah. Okay. So,
but the other two teams I had here were the Wizards and the Hornets, and the Raptors.
The other thing that I will say is that if the Halliburton injury didn't happen, would we be shocked if Halliburton was an MVP candidate next year?
Ooh.
So that's the thing is like
I think he
that's
scores enough. That's his
yeah.
issue.
Well, it would be like a Steve Nash MVP,
yeah,
and the league's too strong for that now. Where
yeah.
it's not any slander to Steve Nash, but he is the worst 2-time MVP of all time.
Oh, absolutely. With a bullet. It's like not close.
It's not
Who's
even close.
Yeah.
Because every other guy who won multiple MVPs is like a top 12 player of all time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. You know, it's
like
not.
I mean, even some of the top 12 players of all time have only won one, right? Hakeem
Yeah.
didn't win two, right?
Did he not win two? Yeah, no, I don't think he did.
I think he only won one.
Man, dude, I mean it is crazy that Steve Nash won 2 MVPs. Like that's crazy.
That was
He won 2 finals MVPs, but only 1 MVP.
Right.
Yeah.
But the reason that the Nash thing is the way it is because they revolutionized basketball with that offense. And it's not to say that Steve Nash wasn't clearly one of the 3 best players in those seasons. He definitely was. It's not that he didn't even he deserved his MVP, at least 1 MVP, if not 2. But if you look at the fact that like LeBron wasn't really LeBron yet, like he wasn't like LeBron James with capital letters. And then the other guys he was going up against were like older at that point. Like they were not their prime versions of themselves. So long story short, Nash is the worst to win 2 regular season MVPs. I'm not talking about
for
MVPs.
sure. I kind of want to talk about the Raptors, by the way, because I think the Raptors were higher than I thought they were going to be.
I didn't have the Raptors as low as I'm not. Okay, here's an interesting argument for you.
Okay.
How do you feel about the Heat versus the Raptors? Do you want me to list out? Do you want me to list them out?
List them out.
Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, Jovic, Hawkes, Kasparis, Yakatrones, Pell Larson, Kashad Johnson versus Scotty Barnes, Colin Murray Boyles, Oshai Abaji, RJ Barrett, Jonathan Mogbo, Grady Dick, Jamison Battle, and Jamal Shad.
I forgot about Hero.
Hero still counts for literally just this season because he turns 26 in January, I think.
I forgot about Hero when I did the Heat.
Yeah.
So I had the Heat. Yeah.
It's close to me. Those are the teams I had in my I had them like 15 14 range.
As long as Hitler not dead. Like look, I don't like handing it to ISIL, but like Tyler Hero did make an all-star team. Like I was kind of Mickey Mouse, but like he did make an all-star team. Like,
2 one-time all-stars, Hero and Barnes. And I'm not sure either of them will make another one. I would be more surprised if Hero is part of a championship team or contender relative to Scotty Barnes, though.
Here's what I'll say. I do think the Raptors have like more raw talent. I believe in Scotty Barnes more as a player than I do as Tyler Hero to be like a meaningfully different player. But the problem is that the Raptors ecosystem is so fucking bad, dude. Like none of these guys are going to, like, I worry about Scotty Barnes' development. Like, I think Scotty Barnes, Scotty Barnes, the hub thing, the 10-time All-Star thing that like Zach Lowe said that I like lost my mind every time he fucking said it. Like I was like, what are you don't know what you're saying. Hakeem Olajuwon made 12 All-Star teams.
Well, that was the thing that we were talking about. And I remember during that time when we came on the podcast and I said, the worst player to ever make 10 All-Star teams is Carmelo Anthony.
What are you talking about? Like that was so crazy. Like and it's like I don't want to like hate on the Raptors that much, but just like he's like a very good young player, and I still do kind of believe in him in like a certain role. Yeah, to be like a very good, like a Pascal Siakam. Like I don't want to like just use another Raptor and be lazy, but like that type of player where it's like a utility man who's like good at a lot of things, but is not counted on to be the primary of anything. You know what I'm saying? Like just kind of the whole plugging glue guy who's above average at a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I think the 2 players that he's been compared to, not perfect 1-for-1s, but the Sean Mary and Aaron Gordon type is probably the style of player you hope for with Scotty. The pathway for him getting there is that they have to figure out a way to acquire players that are better offensive players that fit with him in order to maximize who he can be as a player. Now, Colin Murray-Boyles, I really like Colin Murray-Boyles, but I can't over-index too much for a rookie who has yet to play a game in the NBA in the same way that I don't even want to do it with a guy like Flagg, who I think is a surefire star. Like,
Yeah.
I like Colin Murray-Boyles. We'll see what he looks like. You know, I'm willing to revisit this and change my opinion on it if we do it again in a year. But I think right now it's basically a bunch of rotation players, Scotty and Colin Murray-Boyles.
Yeah.
Like solid rotation players.
I was going to say, I feel a lot better about Grady Dick like 2 years out than I did after like his rookie year, you know? Like,
he was pretty bad at the end of last year. Like, he shot the shit out of the ball the first 30 games of last year, and he was kind of ass after that. The thing with the Raptors is that, like, I feel like we've had several straight years where they're only good for like 30 games of the 80 games in a season. Like, it can never be a continuous, we're good the whole year. It's only stretches.
yeah.
And my thing with like the Heat is like, if I laid out both of those players I just laid out, both of the Hero, Ware, Jovic, Jaquez, Scotty, Colin Murray-Boyles, Ochai Agbaji, RJ Barrett, like, how many of those guys do you feel confident can reach starter status on decent teams? I feel like I would lean towards the Heat.
Yeah. I do like, and you know what? I do like, why am I blanking on their center's name?
Ware?
Ware. I do like Ware. I do kind of believe in Ware quite a bit. So,
all right. So the Heat will have do we want to start a C tier after this Hawks and put these teams in the C tier?
I think we have to, because we're running out of teams. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll go, by the way, two teams that we skipped over that we still have to talk about here are the if teams, the Pelicans and the Hornets, which have right now have the Pelicans have less players that qualify for this than you would think.
No, yeah, especially because they got rid of Dyson. Like, it's
Zion, Trey Murphy, Yves Missy, Jeremiah Fears, Derek Queen, and our guy Carlo.
We do like Carlo. We do love
Carlo's Carlo's just a YKB favorite because he balled out in the one game we saw him live. He's probably not good at all.
He also came out and talked to us.
He did. Yeah, that's actually true. Yeah. No disrespect to Carlo. He is our GOAT.
That's pretty good. You know, like Trey Murphy and like, even if Zion's not, I'm a huge Trey Murphy guy, obviously.
So it's just Zion and Trey Murphy.
I think they're better. Yeah, but like, you know, Queen and Fears, look, it was not the ideal draft. Them getting rid of that pick was terrible, but like, those guys could be good. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're mystery box players, but like, wow. That out on Derek Queen that early. You were kind of talking yourself into Derek Queen. Like,
no,
before the draft.
I had Fears and Queen in the same tier on my board, which is that I could see this going well and I could see it being a fucking disaster. I said that before the draft. I said they were my boomer bust guys. I still had them towards the end of my top 10. Like, I had them like 8 and 9 on my board, I think, because I do see that sliver of hope for them. But I'll say this much. I was alarmed by Summer League for both of them. Like, I think that they have very high, just straight up bust. Pause. They have very high bust chances, folks. Derek Queen and Jeremiah Fears might bust.
I'm about to bust. Yeah. I mean, Zion and Trey Murphy's still really good. Like,
well, here's the thing. Yeah. I kept LaMelo and Zion's teams in the 12 and 13 range because they are if men and they are all health dependent and they're all ideas. But if you just get a season or two of these guys healthy, I genuinely still believe that there is a world where Zion can figure it out and be. To be clear, I don't believe that, but there's always a sliver of a chance that he could be a transformative player.
That was an all-time Trill YKB moment. Look, I still believe there's a
No,
To be clear, I don't.
I don't.
believe-
It's over. Let's be real. Zion Williamson is never going to be the player we think he's going to be.
I've never seen you talk yourself out of an opinion in 2 seconds.
But
That
I
was
can't
awesome.
I can't count I can't count out the 5% chance that happens. You know what I
That's
mean?
true. Yeah, no, I
And,
know.
like-
I know what you meant. Yeah.
And this is the last year where we'll ever have to consider this because he might get waived a year from now at this
Yeah.
point. Like this might be it for him. Like I wouldn't be. It's either he figures it out this year and they get things on track and everything looks great for Zion, or I think he's playing for a different team a year from now and he ages out of this exercise. You know what I mean?
I would still rather have the Pelicans if men than the Heat. I would put the Pelicans ahead of the Heat in the C tier.
I think that the only player out of all of these cores that we have ranked down here that have a chance to have a superstar level player is Zion.
Yes.
And for that reason, I have to put them ahead of the Raptors and the Heat, even though you're living on the edge a little bit here.
I'd also like to point out.
Trey Murphy's very good too.
I'd also like to point out when we get to the Hornets that LaMelo did what Tyler Hero did his rookie year
Second year in the league, he did.
or second year. Yes, sorry.
That's true. And
Yes.
like another part of me can't really fully ever quit LaMelo. Zion and LaMelo will just always be the what if guys for me.
Yeah.
And Brandon Miller and Trey Murphy are both very good. So like it's not like I would say that those are comparable level players to the Hero and Barnes level guys. Like as prospects at least. Like they might not ever get to an all-star game, but they might be just from a value perspective, like on the same level as those guys. So so where do you want to put the Hornets? Because the Hornets have more players and also have a bunch of what if guys.
I think in between definitely ahead of the Heat. Do we put them ahead of the Pelicans? Is my question. Is where I landed.
LaMelo, as much as I love LaMelo, he's not transformative in the way that Zion is if he stays healthy.
Yeah.
And I think that in order for me to consider what, like I talked about it with Wemby during this exercise, the thing that matters the most is having that guy. And they're the only team in this tier that has that guy.
Yeah.
Which is the C tier. So if you're listening, this tier is Pelicans, Hornets, Heat, and Raptors. The B tier, I'll recap here before we go on to the next tier. The A tier is Spurs, Magic, Rockets, Thunder. The A tier is Wolves, Cavs, Pistons, Pacers, Sixers, which we did an addendum on the Pacers here because we were counting Halliburton. The B tier is, hold on, question for you.
Okay.
If we're counting Halliburton, why wouldn't they be ahead of the Pistons? Cade versus Hallie. Nembhard at least was a high-level starter in the finals already.
He did kind of clamp SGA too. Like, I mean, not clamp him, but made him very inefficient. Got him a Kobe Finals MVP. I think they should be ahead of. Are the Pacers ahead of the Cavs?
I guess the Pistons have more volume. No, the Pacers aren't ahead of the Cavs. I guess.
I don't know.
This is why this exercise is hard.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna keep. Maybe I'm just fucking Lucy with the football. I think that Garland's become underrated.
Okay.
Even though I know Garland has been ass in the playoffs twice.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to fully give up on Garland when he's that good in the regular season.
Yeah.
I think I underrated him going into last season, and he was very clearly one of the 20 best players in the regular season last year. But then again, the question for a lot of people would be, if Garland isn't good enough to be the number one A guy on a team, what teams are taking him? Even someone like he's much better than Nembhard, but a lot of people would argue that maybe because Nembhard's such a better defender and also has the ability to scale up a little bit and still is effective as a secondary guy, that you would want him in the NBA Finals over Garland, right?
Yeah.
But the bigger picture to me is like Darius Garland has made 2 all-star teams. He's in a hyper-efficient second option. And if you combine the 2 skills of shooting and passing in the NBA, I think he's in the top 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Ultimately, What does Darius Garland's career look like if they never get Donovan Mitchell is the question for me.
It's different, right?
Yeah, it has to be.
The thing is, I think there's also a chance it kind of looks a little bit more like Trae Young's career, though.
That's definitely true.
Like, so he could be more respected, but he also could be like the selfish loser who doesn't play defense and is quarterback to some bad teams. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I do think that I think that the reason why he wouldn't have that, maybe from like nerds, he would have that, and honestly, nerds might still think that about him.
Yeah.
But I think the general, like, he has a little bit of teacher's pet factor that Trae will never have.
Yeah.
Because Trae is more, he's like a villain. Like, he leans into it.
Yeah.
He's a little bit more abrasive, but I understand the general idea of what you're saying here.
Nice Trae. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you put the Pacers ahead of the Pistons, and I guess we'll leave it behind the Cavs. I do kind of think I'd rather have the Pacers, the core, over the Cavs, but I do.
So here's the thing with the Pistons. The Pistons are Cade, Ausar, Duren, Isaiah Stewart. Those are, and that's before we even get to
Ron Holland,
Jaden Ivey or Holland swing pieces.
Yeah.
That is much more depth. So I'll give the slight nod to the Pistons still, even though I would rather have a healthy Halliburton over Cade still.
I would rather have Nembhard. I love Ausar, and Nembhard's way better than Jalen Duren or Ausar or whoever you want to make like their number 2 best prospect.
Okay, well then I'll give this one to you. I'll bump up.
I think you do kind of have to put the Pacers ahead of it, and Jarris Walker probably sucks, but like
I'm kind of becoming a little bit of a boomer. Maybe the Anthony Richardson conversation turned me into this.
Yeah.
Where everyone was like, Anthony Richardson just hasn't had enough snaps, and I'm like, he's also very bad.
Yeah, he's just bad.
And I say this as someone who is way more of a casual football fan, and I understand that I do agree with people that when they say, oh, if you're going to draft Anthony Richardson, you need to be patient and make sure he gets enough snaps and games under his belt. Unfortunately, the NFL doesn't work in the same way as the NBA does, which is that coaches get fired and GMs get fired at a way faster rate than they do in the NFL. And the thing with the Anthony Richardson conversation is that, like, I saw Shane Steichen with Justin Herbert and Jalen Hurts, and they had the best years of their career in his offense. And Anthony Richardson has now had 3 tries at it, and he's losing training camp competitions to Daniel Jones.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm sorry.
Like, that's alarming to me.
You can't lose your QB competition to Daniel.
And that's kind of what I was getting back to with Jarris, who I might, if it doesn't happen for Jarris this year, speaking of young Indiana players, I have to divorce myself from my pre-draft thoughts of him.
Yeah.
Because he just isn't, he might not be who I think he is. And the Hall of Fame coach, even though we love to blame the Tibbs of the world and the Carlisles and, certain coaches, the Hall of Fame coaches might know what they're doing.
I was going to say, well, especially Carlisle. Like, Carlisle especially is
he's earned the benefit
usually right. Like, he's, even when he's like, what's his biggest boomer thing is like fighting with Rondo, and like,
everyone
pretty defensible.
Did.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, pretty defensible.
I was listening to the 09 draft, which, by the way, a little preview for our Patreon/YouTube member episode that we're going to do later this week. I was listening to the 09 draft podcast, and this was after the Celtics had been to back-to-back NBA finals, and Danny Ainge was trying to trade Rajon Rondo.
He's awesome, dude.
But that kind of tells you, like, what the league thought about Rajon Rondo was that, like, I remember Doc saying that at one point he didn't want, do you remember the story about how there was a Chris Paul for Rajon Rondo?
Yes.
And Doc said he didn't want to send him, because Monty Williams just took the job with the Pelicans, and he told Danny, please don't send him Rajon Rondo. Like, Doc, I feel bad for him.
Guy. Yeah.
So funny. But yeah,
I love it. They would always call Rondo mercurial, which is like the funniest way you can call someone an asshole. Like, it was so awesome. Like, everyone said, like, that was like the word used to describe Rondo every time. Mercurial point guard.
By the way, the other boomer thing that Carlisle had was he lost the power struggle with Luka.
Yeah.
which is very funny in retrospect because then the
Yeah.
Mavericks traded Luka for basically the same reasons that Carlisle didn't like him.
Yeah. So I guess what we're saying is Carlisle innocent.
Carlisle always right, apparently. Yeah.
He got further into the playoffs than the Mavericks did with Luka.
All I'm saying is Spicy Rick, the invitation is open, buddy. I saw you went on Caitlin Cooper's podcast. You're welcome on our podcast anytime too.
Caitlin might know way more basketball than us and be smarter and everything like that.
Yeah.
However,
we'll talk to you about politics and Jim Carrey movies because you kind of look like him.
yeah. But fair trade, right?
I would say so. Yeah. Back to this exercise. Okay. Two teams who I had higher than I thought I would.
Okay.
Actually, three teams, really.
Okay.
The Jazz, the Bulls, and the Kings. Do you want to hear their young cores?
I'm looking at what I guess I kind of disagree with you about the Bulls. I'm going to be honest.
Okay,
but
so
I'll hear you out. The
Bulls' young core is Buzelis, Josh Giddey, Kobe White, Isaac Okoro, Patrick Williams, Ayo Dosunmu, Jalen Smith, Dalen Terry, and Julian Phillips. Matas Buzelis, I think, is going to be a good NBA player.
Yes,
has real upside.
Correct.
Kobe White is already a good NBA player, even if his archetype's a little bit faded.
That was kind of my thing. It's like I like Kobe White, but like
on a good team, Kobe White is a sixth man. I'm not disagreeing with that, but I do think he could be like if he were on. I'm trying to think of a team like who's been a recent good team that needed some. This is obviously like, for example, the Knicks this past year, just a little bit of scoring juice off the bench for them. Yeah. Someone who can pop a little bit. He would have been nice for them to have. I don't think he's like a 40-minute a game player in a NBA Finals closing game, but I do think that he's probably one of the better players in this archetype. Is all I'll say. And like we determined, he was still too good to do. He was too good to be the star in plain sight guy.
That's true. Yeah, and then we did draft Peyton Pritchard, despite them kind of being.
But Peyton Pritchard hasn't had the opportunity that Kobe White has. That's the difference to me.
Kobe
White has started multiple seasons in the NBA and averaged over 20 points a game. Yeah. To me, the rules that we set were that like you basically haven't had to have the opportunity. Peyton Pritchard will get that opportunity this upcoming season. By the way, so Isaac Okoro and Patrick Williams and Ayo Dosunmu Ayo especially probably the best of that group.
I was just gonna say I had Ayo as the clear third best, and then everybody else was just kind of a guide.
So, what do you do with Giddey? Is the question. Throw him in prison?
Well, no. The cops said that they didn't find anything, so you can't do that. I mean, like, look, like I saw again today. Someone was like, "Hey, did you guys know this? That Josh Giddey gets better as the year goes along."
Mickey Mouse.
He's really popping in March when nobody cares.
Ho, you hear this? Hey, folks. Josh Giddey. He's not allowed at our parks anymore. We put him on a list.
I don't know. Like, I mean, I guess Giddey's like technically good. Do we like want to have this like real conversation? I know the second they get in the playoffs, he's going to be ass again. Like, it doesn't fucking
for sure. I'm never going to push back against this.
I just like yes, I guess technically, like, sure. I don't know. Like, I get that he's like technically better than like, I don't know. We were talking about the Kings before. How about like Keegan Murray? Okay. He's like
technically Keegan, but yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I think a lot of people would not, I guess is what I'm saying.
No, I agree with that.
Like a lot of people would say, oh no, I'd definitely rather have, all his counting stats are way higher. I think Keegan Murray is like better than Josh Giddey, like pretty handily. So
yeah, but he's also when I would compare Keegan to like Matas more. I think Matas has more long. We talked about this a little bit before, where it's like Matas probably has a little bit more long-term upside, but Keegan will. It wouldn't shock me if Keegan were the Harrison. When he got drafted, I was like, he could be like Harrison Barnes, which is like passable enough at enough things that he can be like the fifth starter on a championship team.
Yeah, I guess this is good. Yeah, no, I guess No, I guess you're right. I guess the Bulls are.
So I
Unfortunately, I
Bulls,
don't like Giddy. I
this also
don't.
isn't even that high. I had them 17.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Like,
yeah.
it's not high. Like,
No, it's not.
they're still in the lower half of the league. Oh, I fucking forgot the guy they just drafted too. Noah, which I don't know.
I think
I don't
he
know.
might suck, but
We'll see.
yeah,
We'll see with Noah.
he could be he could be fine too. I don't. I think
Yeah.
he's a firmly mystery box.
Yeah. I was gonna say. So we the end of this tier. It's either this is either the D tier. We either start the D tier, or the end of this tier is the Jazz, the Bulls, the Kings. Those are the three teams that I had laid out. Now the Jazz have Walker Kessler, Kyle Filipowski, Ace Bailey, Walter Clayton, Keontae George, Bryce Sensabaugh, Isaiah Collier, Cody Williams, and Taylor Hendricks. The Kings have Keegan Murray, Keon Ellis, Nick Clifford, Devin Carter, Isaac Jones, and Maxine Reynaud.
I think all of these teams are D tier. But I also, you really think all these teams are better than the Wizards?
And like, kind of undeniably, to be honest. I actually was shocked how low I had the Wizards. I had the Wizards at 20.
I think that's crazy. I think
do they have a single NBA starter on here? This honestly, the way that this conversation started was the SAR conversation. This is why I wanted to do this episode, because the SAR conversation was driving me insane the other day, where I was like, what do I not see in this guy? Like, I just watched him. They're like, would you watch him in Summer League? I'm like, first off, every sophomore should be the best player on the court in Summer League. Second off, he was bad for 6 quarters of Summer League, and then he was awesome for a half. And yes, defensively, I see the upside. And yes, he's an above average handler and passer for a big. I get all that. He has no scoring touch. His scoring bag is like non-existent. And it's hard for me to see him reaching starter levels unless he becomes a dynamic shooter. And he is not good finishing around the rim. He doesn't really get to the rim by his own. He needs to have that created for him.
Yep.
Now, maybe he gets better and he's a good starter or whatever. And then you can make the argument here, but like, I just named a bunch of guys on those teams and I think that they're definitely worth. Like, Bub is just a bench guard to me. Bilal, I wanted Bilal to be good, but he's way too inconsistent. I love Trey. Trey's a rookie. I think Keyshawn George is like crazy overrated too. Bro, Keyshawn George's shooting splits from last year are comically bad.
I get it.
37% from the field and 32% from 3. Like, the way that people talk about these guys, I'm like, what am I missing?
I mean, Keyshawn George is like 6'7" and was like one of the youngest like players last year.
He was not one of the youngest players. He's 21 already.
Yeah, he was 20 last year. Like, it's pretty young. It's like he was like getting rotation minutes.
Turns
22
turns 22 2 months into next season. Like, he is not one of the youngest players in the NBA.
He's still pretty young. Like,
I know wings take a long time, so there's definitely a chance. But like, just the way that, to me, the large majority of players
Cam Whitmore, by the way.
I like Cam in the draft, but he hasn't done anything in the NBA, and he's had 2 years. Like, maybe he gets the opportunity this year. I'm just saying every player on this team is theoretical.
That's true.
They don't have real. Every other team here has at least one guy where I've seen them be really good for a stretch, if not multiple guys.
So you would, if I told you right now, all right, you can have Trey Johnson or Keegan Murray. You're
okay. So this is the thing: is like I have to feel very confident in how I feel about a guy pre-draft to say I'll take him over a surefire NBA player. And maybe Trey Johnson is what we think, like when we were gushing about him in the draft, right? During the cycle. Maybe he is that, and I look stupid. But to me, the argument here is that every other player on their team is like a bench player that gets talked about like they're a high-level starter. And I don't see a lot of pathways for anyone other than Trey here to be a true blue star.
No, I don't think that they're going to be a star, but I think there's a lot of starters in here. I'm a little higher on Bub than you are.
Bub has the lowest free throw rate I've ever seen for an NBA player.
I get it. Look, I get it.
Here's the thing. If you're a guard that can't get to the rim or the line, you're just not a starter in the NBA. That's just like a flat out, like, there's no way you can be a starter in the NBA unless you're like the best defender, and he's not. That
Yeah,
and
he's not
I,
a good
you
player.
know, I love Bub pre-draft, dude. I had him like 7 or 8 on my board. It's just like all of their flaws to me are like fairly massive and consistent.
I agree with you on Sar. Like, I don't think like Sar, like every once in a while I'll watch a game, I'll be like, oh, maybe those guys never like pan out. Sar is not, he's probably never going to pan out. I really like a lot of these other guys, and I'm buying stock in a lot of them. I think they're all pretty good, and I really strongly believe in Trey Johnson. Like this, I understand this is a little crazy. I like him better than Bazelis as a pro. I would rather have Trey Johnson than Montas. Like, and
Okay.
so that's like that's a difference. I had the Wizards here. I pretty strongly feel the Wizards should like at least be in the tier with the Bulls and the Kings and the Jazz. You'd rather have the Jazz's core, but like
they have any players. Like to me, like now the one argument that you can have is that like Walker. Okay, so here's the argument. Like Walker Kessler's included in here, and I don't think of Walker Kessler as some high upside guy, right? Like I just think of him as like a starter. But we've had many years of him, and we haven't had many years of most of these guys. So that is the argument for the Wizards, right? Walker Kessler was already instantly good as a rookie. Like this is my argument, is that like every player on the Wizards is a bet on them getting much, much better. And I just don't see it with this young core like other people do. Like I actually think my biggest disagreement with the general consensus in the NBA is that the Wizards have a bright future. I actually think that they're one of the most dark futures in the NBA relative to these other teams we talked about.
Are other people saying that, or is that just because you're on a podcast with me? Because I feel like I'm on an island when I say
no,
that.
you're complete. Dude,
Yeah.
The discourse on Twitter after the Alex Sar thing when Vicini had him 11 in his redraft. By the way, Vicini had him number 1 on his board pre-draft. He liked Sar a lot in the draft. He was like, he loved everything. And then he was just like, I was shocked at a lot of things I saw from him his rookie year. And my whole thing on this is just that the way that the media and the way that Twitter talks about the Wizards' future is just completely different from how I feel about them.
The Sar conversation is like totally different to me because I completely agree with you on that. I just think that everybody, although maybe I have to drop the law.
I'm kind of the opposite, where I feel like of all the guys here, I think I could see, even though I don't like Sar, other than Trey, of all the guys here, he's the one that I'm like, there's a pathway where if he just becomes a really good jump shooter, that he can get there. I struggle to see it with the other guys.
I think the other thing that's key here is like, I know this Wizards team is like going to be bad. I think everything snaps into place the second the Wizards get a Cooper Flag.
That's that. If you want to make the argument, that's fair.
Yeah, like I think all of these other guys would be very normal to good NBA players if they weren't like playing off of Kyle Kuzma.
To me, here's where I'm going to end my argument with the Wizards. Yeah. I think the Wizards draft a lot of idea players who play team basketball, and everyone wants that to work. And none of them are even remotely close to league level scoring efficiency. Bilal Coulibaly is a 30% career 3-point shooter. And like I said, Bub cannot get to the rim or the line. Like, to me, there is an argument to be made that if they make improvements, for sure, but like they were a disaster last year, even without Kuzma. And I just feel like I'm very disconnected from what nerds think about them.
They're going to be bad again because the only rim pressure guy they have is Bilal, and like you said, he's like not good. Like everybody else is a fucking, including Sar is a jump shooter.
I want to like Bub, I want to like Bilal, and I want to see it with them. But like, to me, there are many red flags in all of their profiles when I watch them, when I look at the stats, that I feel like people just look past because we want the Wizards to be young and fun because they haven't been in forever. And it's the thing that I feel the most strongly about. And the good, if you want to have a silver lining here, it's what you just said, in that like maybe if they get a superstar in the next draft, everything falls into place for them. But how many teams could you say that about? and then two on this, they have so many swings here that they're bound to hit on a few. Like, just the odds tell you that some of these guys are going to get better and become impact players.
So here's my thing, is I think every single one of their guys actually does fit around a superstar besides Sar. Every one of their guys is a very like normal player, like for like a playoff team. Like all of them. Like if you have like a superstar level player, like with them, not even a superstar.
Let's
level,
agree to
but a normal
disagree. Let's just move on from the Wizards. But I think there are a few guys that could fit nicely around a 1A guy for sure. Like if they got Darren Peterson in the next draft.
Yeah.
For sure.
So they just had like horrific lottery luck. Like that. So anyway, the only time they jumped up was the bad draft. But anyway.
Draft better. I don't care. So Wizards. So you want to put them in C tier?
We can put them in D tier. We had our argument. You can
All
put
right.
them in D tier, and let's put everybody. You can put the Bulls. I think I'm on an island here with the. You've like kind of talked me into it because they are idea players, and I started this out making fun of the Spurs for having fake guys.
I'm willing to hear it out. I mean, I think the Bulls have more NBA players, but they also are older. You know what I mean? Like
Vazelis is pretty good though. Like
yeah.
And I think
I think most people would take Sarr over Buzelis. I think that we're in the minority.
That's insane. I think that's like insane crazy talk.
I'm just telling you. I think that's how people feel.
I saw a lot. I guess I'm not as like plugged in on some of this stuff. Like these people who like watch the
Dude,
NBA.
The way that people were crashing out over this, I was like, what am I missing?
I watched a lot of Wizards games last year, dude. I watched a lot of Wizards games last year. I mean, Sarr is the one that I was like.
It was like Sam Vecini committed a crime. It was, and I was like, Vecini does more draft work than anyone and watches the NBA. Like he is like the most accomplished draft guy in the sphere right now. Like the idea that he has no idea what he's talking about or that he has some sort of personal vendetta against Sarr is like legitimately deranged.
He had a number one in sport. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, like it's crazy. If there's anyone who wants him to succeed.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The way that Hoopers talk about Jalen Green is the way that nerds talk about Sarr. It's all highlights and moments.
There's like, I'll say like every like 4 games, Sarr will do like a couple things where I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what everyone wanted me to see. But then you watch the rest of the game and he'll compound it with like some of the dumbest shit you've ever seen in your life. And he's got the Ayton shit. Where it's like I can tell you don't like doing the things that you need to do to be a good player. Yeah. And that is such a red flag when guys don't like doing the things that they need to do to be good. Like, and I don't think you get better at that. Anyway,
if you want to make the Anthony Richardson argument, you always drafted him to be a long-term guy. Like you always drafted Sarr knowing that he was probably going to suck as a rookie and he had to get stronger and he had to become a better shooter. And maybe everything falls into place if that happens for him.
Does Sarr take the qualifying offer during the contract negotiations with the Wizards in 27 or 2028?
My thing is Sarr's a power forward. Sarr is not. He's not a good enough rebounder, and he doesn't have the interior game that you need for a big. Like that's just not like he's not a center. And if he's a 4, how good of a shooter does he have to become a starter? A pretty good one, I think.
He doesn't like doing any of that shit, man. Like he is just the ultimate like.
But that's why I'm saying he's a power forward.
Yeah. No,
that's why I'm saying he's a perimeter based player.
I use the Ayton comp all the time because it feels like I'm watching Ayton all over again, and it's like you're not going to be able to bring in point guard Benito Mussolini to like institute the trains running on time to like get a good season out of him. That's not going to happen for Sarr. So I think that's like insane. Like I understand that Sarr is like tantalizing, but like those guys don't like he's going to be closer to Christian Wood than he will ever be to fucking like anyone who matters.
I like Mateo's comp for him, which was like a slightly more advanced on offense, Jonathan Isaac. Like that's like the higher ceiling.
Yeah. And like I think Jonathan Isaac like locks in more. I don't think Sarr's got the clamps lock in. Like he's kind of like Robert. What if Robert Williams was like?
It depends. It depends if it's an election year.
Let's go.
Also, you can't say that about Isaac, who's never played more than like 20 minutes a game. It's easy to lock in for 18 minutes in a game.
I guess that's true.
Yeah. Also, someone did comment and said it is astounding how much Sam brings up Robert Williams, and you've got your Robert Williams mention in.
Dude, he's you guys don't understand how good Robert Williams was going to be if the injuries didn't happen. I'm sorry.
All right, now I know how to get you mad. I will just call Sar French Robert Williams. All right.
Speaking of French guys, the other reason to drop Bilal was he was reading the pickup artist fucking book. It was sure. Did you see that?
I saw that. I mean, you can never trust a French person.
I was going to say right wing or French. Like, do we call it like
Wemby is the only one.
Yeah,
Wemby is the only one that we can trust, apparently.
Wemby being a Maoist is fucking.
That might prove he's the one, just because he is the only. He has even been resistant to French culture.
Yeah, that's beast. Like
that
straight up. I need to get him off like Brandon Sanderson, dude. I every time it hurts my heart every time I see him reading a Brandon Sanderson book. I'm going to the game and I'm bringing him real shit. I'm bringing him Malazan. I'm bringing him Robin Hobb. If you work for the Celtics, please reach out to me because I need to find a way to get this book to Wemby when he comes to Boston.
Yeah, ask him to sign the book and then just be like, actually, keep that for you.
Yeah, it's your book now.
This will.
I stamp it property of over his autograph and then hand it back to him.
A lot of guidance in your life here. Okay, so in the D tier we have honestly, I kind of think this is.
Sorry. I was reading the comment. If you laugh.
Read it out loud. Don't half mumble it so people can know.
Yeah, Giddy would love France. We need to have a trade like Australia. Australia trades Josh Giddey to France. America gets Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is painfully American. Like he's like one of our goats. And then I think Boris Diaw. What's like a chill country? Boris Diaw, he's very European, but he's not very French. And I don't know. Trill's having some mic issues, so I'm vamping here. I think that Boris Diaw, what's like the fun European country?
You left out. We could send either of Bilal or Rudy to Australia pretty easily in that trade too.
Yeah, Rudy.
They'd love Australia, dude.
I feel like Australia's like not. Australia's it's like passively right. It's like bro, like not broy, but like you know what I'm saying. Like it's kind of like just hanging out and being a guy. You know,
right? I've watched Australian Love Island, and it is. I will say the bro culture there is very aggressive. Like it's way more like. It's way more aggressive than the UK and the American Love Island bros.
Yeah,
like they're like they legitimately every season almost ends in a fist fight.
Yeah. And I think it's like less of a big deal to them. I think
honestly,
like
Rudy would
fight. Yeah.
Rudy would love it then. Rudy tried to punch Kyle Anderson in the face.
Yeah. And that's true. That's true. Yeah. Yeah, maybe Rudy is maybe we make Rudy Australian. This is what let's get that new we're bringing that Dave Chappelle bit from 2003 back. The instead of the racial draft, it's the country draft. So
perfect. We're trading across borders. All right.
The Kings. So here's the thing about. I was looking at the King. I don't know what I was seeing with the Kings. I'm looking at their roster again. Like Keon Ellis and Keegan are good. Everyone else is kind of ass on this roster. I'm going to be honest.
I mean, it's a whole lot of mid. It's just Keegan Murray, Keon Ellis, Nick Clifford, Devin Carter, Isaac Jones, and Maxine Renaud for this.
Yeah, and most of those guys are like mystery box guys. Like we don't know if the guy, Devin Carter, we don't know if he's good. Nick Clifford, we both liked in the draft. We both liked that pick.
Kind of definitively say that I'm kind of worried about Devin Carter. So I wouldn't feel confident at all factoring him in here. They tried to trade him for a reason.
Yeah, I think the Kings go near the end of this little group, and I think the Jazz go in between the Wizards.
So you want them here?
I want them. I mean, do you want to make the case? Like,
I'll give you the Wizards. We've already talked about the Wizards ad nauseum. I mean, the Jazz are Filipowski, Kessler. I would have had them higher. Walter Clayton, Ace Bailey, Keontae George, Bryce Sensabaugh, Isaiah Collier, Cody Williams, and Taylor Hendricks. That's just my personal opinion.
I think this one boils down to what do you feel about Bryce Sensabaugh? I think Bryce Sensabaugh is a little bit.
He's just a bench player. Like he's just like a bench guard. So yeah, it's fine. So do we want to talk about the Suns?
I mean, Malwatch, done.
Malwatch Dunn, Rasheer Fleming, Kobe Brea. Is it Brea or Bray? I can never remember.
Best shooter in the draft, baby.
Maybe. Oso Iguodaro, Mark Williams, Jared Butler, Jalen Green.
I mean, that's like pretty funny. Like it's like pretty funny how that's a lot of guys. Like, are they good? I don't know, but that's a lot of guys.
No idea.
Yeah, like that's
feel
a lot
like
of
most
guys.
of these guys are bench players. Feel like most of these guys are.
I think it's funny to me that I think if I were like drafting these guys by how much I liked them, I think I'd get to like Jalen Green at like 5.
All right, let's just. If I'm ranking based on long-term outcomes here, I'd probably go Malawatch. I mean, Mark Williams just doesn't.
Yeah, he's going to be
like,
out of the league in 3
yeah,
years. Like,
he's just too hurt. I'd probably go Malawatch. I can't do it. I can't even do this exercise because I'll probably end up taking Jalen Green way too high. Because to me, the other guys on this team are just like they're bench players.
Oh fuck! Wait, Kobe Brea's on a 2-way.
Oh, he doesn't count then. Fuck,
he doesn't count. Damn
I
it.
forgot he's on a 2-way. Rasheer Fleming's the one that got the contract. All right, so he doesn't count.
He doesn't count.
So
which is a bummer because I really like him, but yeah.
So it's Rasheer Fleming, Ryan Dunn, Malawatch, Jalen Green, Jared Butler, Mark Williams.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think it's pretty grim unless Malawatch is awesome.
Yeah, I mean it's grim, but like I would have thought that they were an F tier. So like I was very
D
pleasantly
tier's pretty
surprised.
good.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. It's that like if you're a NBA pervert like I am,
yeah,
like I would be very sad about what happened to my team, but it's not like unwatchable now. You know what I'm saying?
No, they'll win like 33 games.
Yeah.
And they'll be very bad, but they will be a young, fun bad at least.
Yeah.
Not in the same way that like if they had just continued to run it back where it would just be like the vibes are miserable and they're still really bad. With like Nurkic and Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been bad.
Yeah. They're going to be really bad when we do our over-under. Like,
yeah.
I might fade them into oblivion, to be honest with you. Okay.
Can I tell you something in confidence? You can cut this if you want.
Say it.
I'm considering taking the Hawks under now.
The what?
I'm considering taking the Hawks under now.
Under?
I'm thinking about it.
Where is it? 50.5?
That's really high. That's really high.
Stay tuned. We'll talk about that.
I'm just saying. I didn't want. You can cut this if you want it to be a surprise. But I was alarmed at how high the Hawks one was, and
I'm too lazy to edit this out. It's not.
Okay,
I have so many other things
enough.
to edit out that only the Patreon episode.
Oh, he's muted himself again, folks. Trill is doing physical Three Stooges style physical comedy right now in silence, raging. Yeah, so I think the Suns are one of like they're interesting, but they're like not very good. I do want to I think we only have 3 teams left. I want to talk about the Warriors because we didn't really get to. I think the Warriors, they have our guy Pods, Guy Santos, Moses Moody. And I believe Quentin Post is too old.
No, Quentin Post, Trace Jackson Davis, and Kuminga are all included.
Okay. Kuminga TBD.
I mean, same with Josh Giddey and Quentin Grimes, though, and we counted them.
That's true. I guess that is true. So,
I'm still counting them as part of the young core.
I think this young core is like the problem is that like last year really alarmed me with Pods. I've really tempered myself.
Pods was fine last year.
He was okay. I expected more, I guess is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I expected more from him. Maybe I was just like too high on him to begin with. But
Pod's the only player in NBA history that's hated more by his own fans than he is by other.
Yeah.
Like every fan base overrates their young players.
Yeah.
But the Warriors have somehow underrated. Warriors fans think that Pods is Hitler because he's standing in the way of Steph Curry winning his 5th championship, which is the only thing that matters.
Right,
even though if Steph Curry didn't get injured last year, they might have had a chance to make it at least to the conference finals.
Really, yeah. Like all of those guys are good. Like Moses Moody's good. Trace Jackson Davis and Quentin Post like are
Solid.
like solid players. Guy Santos in like when the spot like I actually have a Guy Santos opinion. I think he's pretty good. Like for some of this stuff. So I actually think they're pretty good. I think they're probably better than the Suns. And I would consider putting them higher. The problem is that none of these guys are like they don't have any like definitively good guy. Like Pods is the closest thing they have to like a good guy, and like all these other teams ahead of them have a player who's better or projects to be better than that, I think.
For sure.
So,
yeah. These are just like this is like the solid rotation player core.
Yeah.
Because they're just building around the older stars still. So they're just like, all right, these are NBA players. These are solid players.
And I think they're all like pretty like good, to be honest. They just don't have a lot like punch. Sorry.
Yeah,
Just,
there's not a ton of upside
there. Yeah.
Not a ton of upside at all. Unless you're a Kuminga person and Kuminga's not currently under contract and might never go back and play for them. So
right.
That is the one thing I do feel like with Cam Thomas and Kuminga, I could see both of them trying to just be out of here. And that almost makes me feel like I can't even consider them quite as much as I can with like Giddey and Grimes. I mean, maybe Grimes goes and takes the qualifying offer and that looks stupid, but I don't know. We'll see.
Nuggets. Hunter Tyson, Kessler Edwards, Zeke Naji, Christian Brown, Julian Strother, Deron Holmes, Peyton Watson.
Yep. I had them at the end of D, but they just have NBA players. This is another team where it's just like Christian Brown's like their fifth starter now.
I really like Christian Brown. I'm going to be honest. I think
he's good.
Like, pretty good. Like, I think he's like a fourth starter, to be honest. Like, I think he's actually like on like most teams. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
yeah, he's
anyway,
good.
I really like him. Yeah.
Peyton Watson, I actually think he could end up being a decent player in the long term. Deron Holmes, I can't believe Zeke Naji still qualifies for this.
Yeah.
That blew my mind. Hunter Tyson and Jalen Pickett, it's over for them.
Yeah. Those guys suck. Deron Holmes, I'm interested. We both really liked him, and then he like tore his ACL. So
yeah.
We'll see. We'll see how he looks when he comes back. We'll see how we felt about it. But we both really liked him in that draft. So
where do we want to put him here?
Behind the Warriors, I think. Ahead of the Suns.
So ahead of the Suns. Okay.
Yeah, because I think
Christian Brown is probably the best.
He's better than any of the Suns guys, for sure.
Yeah, and Malwatch hasn't played yet, so
yeah.
And
then the one. Okay, I literally did. I'm glad we saved this team for last because I literally wrote like 9 question marks.
So the Nets have a lot of guys. Cam Thomas, Day'Ron Sharpe, Noah Clowney, Danny Wolf, Yegar Demin, Drake Powell, Nolan Traore, Ben Seraph, Drew Timme, and Jalen Wilson.
Dog. Drew Timme. Very funny. So I think, all right. So is the best player here that qualifies on this list?
Day'Ron Sharpe.
Oh, it is Day'Ron Sharpe. Wait, why is he not? Oh, did he not sign yet?
He was a free agent, but they signed him back.
Oh, he's not on my list for whatever reason. Okay. No, never mind. That's not as funny as Joe. Jalen Wilson, I think, is alarmingly high on this list of guys. Like, I think he's like.
I think he stinks.
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
Like I think he's like. Would you rather have Jalen Wilson or like Ben Seraph?
I don't know any information about those players. Like the half of the guys they drafted, I'm like, we barely saw them play basketball, or they were in a league that I just wasn't watching.
God, they have 4 fucking rookies, dude.
The only
5 rookies. They're all rostered. That's crazy.
The only player that I have the only 2 players I have informed opinions on from this crew are Danny Wolf and Yegar Demin. I think Yegar Demin sucks, and I think Danny Wolf is could be a fine backup big.
Yeah.
He might also suck.
I thought Noah Clowney was okay when I saw him.
Dude, Noah Clowney, look at his stats from last year, dude. I know that we said you were like, is Noah Clowney bad? And then I looked at his stats and was like, what the fuck happened to him, dude? I was floored how bad his stats were last year.
Ooh.
We're almost 2
Oh,
hours
oh,
in.
Oh, wait, what? Yeah, wait, what did happen?
I have no idea.
35 field goal percentage? Dog.
Dude, I was like, I didn't really pay attention to the Nets all that much last year. So when I looked up his stats, I was like, well, he was like pretty solid as a rookie. He didn't get a ton of opportunities, but like, you know, I heard he was decent in the G League and he played well in garbage time. And then he shot 35% from the field,
Dog.
33% from three.
His true shooting. Okay, as a big, like an average true shooting is like 60%.
Yeah.
This is 51.6, dude.
By the way, Alex Sarr has like a 48 true shooting.
Yeah, I mean these things. That's horrific. I kind of because I just saw like Noah Clowney, like I again, I was not locked in on Nets games, but like when I did watch the Nets, he would like be okay. Like when I watched him, like that's crazy. I didn't realize it was that bad. Oh my god.
Jesus Christ. All right, so
they might be F tier, man. I'm like not. You gave me a look, but I'm like kind of not kidding. like why would the Knicks? Like, would you rather have Deuce McBride or any of their guys?
I mean, Cam Thomas is probably there for one more year, and then it's Day'Ron Sharpe, who's a bench big, and a bunch of ass. Like the volume of young guys is here. The quantity is certainly there. But I can definitively say everyone in D has someone I think is going to be at least a starter in the NBA.
Yeah, dude.
And I don't think I can say that about this. Now, look, maybe two of these guys pop and we look stupid in 2 years, but like now.
Yeah, like I always try to hit that home that like we have our own like draft opinions, but like I was pretty anti-Buzelis, and then I watched him in the NBA. I was like, oh no, he's good. Like a lot of times you get a chance to see these guys like on the NBA floor.
I'm not married to my pre-draft opinions if a guy just proves to be wrong in either direction. Like, I'm going to do a recap here of this.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. So our S tier, number 1, we have the Spurs. Number 2, we have the Magic. Number 3, we have the Rockets. Number 4, we have the Thunder. That's without SGA. The A tier, we have in 5th overall, we have the Timberwolves. 6th overall, we have the Cavaliers. 7th overall, we have the Pacers. 8th overall, we have the Pistons. 9th overall, we have the Sixers. In B tier, we have the Mavericks with Cooper Flag. At 10, we have the Blazers at 11, the Grizzlies at 12, the Hawks at 13. C tier, we have the what if teams, New Orleans at 14, Hornets at 15, Heat at 16, Raptors at 17. D tier, we have the Bulls at 18. We have the Wizards at 19. Kev's going to get mad at us over that, by the way.
What? That we had the Bulls high or low?
The Bulls at 19. He's going to say that they should be over the Raptors. Probably, though he'll say they should be in C tier ahead of the Raptors. We have the Wizards at, I believe that's 20. The Jazz at 22. The Kings at 23. The Warriors at 24. The Nuggets at 25, the Phoenix Suns at 26. Okay, I think I counted one, whatever. It's close enough. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, whatever.
And then F tier, we have the Nets, Knicks, Bucks, Lakers, Celtics, Clippers. So that's it. I added an extra one there. But this is our young core rankings, 25 and under. We'll be back later this week. We're going to do our 2009 rewatch stream that you can catch with us, which is going to be a doozy because that is one of the greatest drafts of all time. Also, we let people on Patreon and YouTube vote on what they wanted to see. They said classic draft. We are still going to do 2017. We'll just do it next week. We'll take a little break from those previous drafts because that is obviously important to the podcast. It's the full draft.
No way.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that, but if you watched in here, thank you for watching. Sign up for the YouTube room. We still get matching on that for a few more weeks. And also stay tuned tomorrow, Wednesday, August 20th. I will be dropping some professional slop on the Twitter timeline, and I'll probably share it in the Discord as well. So Thanks for watching. Peace.